I was in a real hurry to make the bathroom doors that I did in my last welding video, so I stopped my welding workbench build with just the top and set it on sawhorses, but now it's time to finish the whole thing. So here's the material that I need to finish off the legs and the plasma cutting extension. So this 1" by 2" tube steel is going to be the legs of the table. I do the cuts on my swivel head bandsaw. Now where the legs join the top of the table, I needed to do this L cut, so I do that on the Milwaukee portaband. And then cut the slats for the plasma extension on the bandsaw and break a blade. I think I had the tension on the motor too tight, which was causing vibration. So that set me back a little bit, but I had some work to do on the table in the meantime. So I was able to build this in place right on top of the sawhorses with the top upside down. And these two pieces of tube steel are what is going to attach to the legs and the extension table. So I use my trusty Hobart Handler 190, thank you Hobart,
link in description,
to weld these onto the existing tube steel. Now this is flux core wire, no shield gas, there's going to be splatter and stuff. I do some minimal cleanup, but it's a workbench, it's going to be covered in that stuff, so don't worry about it too much. Next I need to drill some holes in the legs to join them together. And I drill holes in one leg and then use it as a template to do the other three. I start with a 1/4 inch hole and then widen it out to 1/2 inch. So with the holes drilled, I bolt the legs together, set them up in place on the tabletop, and weld them together. The welds where these connecting rods meet the legs are the trickiest because the angle changes so fast. Any pro tips for how to do this well? Question mark. So I decided to add this plate to the end of the table. Now this will allow me to clamp a piece vertically and then lay a second piece on the top of the table to weld a 90-degree joint quickly with the table. So I think I'm going to use this. We'll see. Kind of like the entire design of this bench is just my best guess. I'm not going to stress about it too much. If in a couple years I want completely different features in a welding workbench, I'll just remake the whole thing. But this should be pretty good to get me started for now. Now this would look better if it was cleaned up. I'd say my welds are getting better. They're good enough for shop stuff. Not artistic welds by any means, but I'm improving. And again, minimal effort to clean this up. It's a workbench, it's going to be dirty and covered in splatter and soot and stuff, so I don't worry about it too much. Now the table is really taking shape. I can flip it over, get rid of the sawhorses, and work on the plasma cutting extension. So the idea with the plasma cutting extension is that I'm going to have disposable slats similar to plasma CNC that I can lay a piece on, do the plasma cutting, and then when they get all chewed up, I can easily replace them. So I cut lengths of tube steel that are going to be the spacers for these slats. They're about 2 inches long. And I clamp everything together using the slats themselves as spacers. Take the slats out and weld it up. and then put the slats back. Took a little bit more persuasion. Welding changes the dimensions, and they were sticking a little, but that's good. That holds them in place. And there it is, all done. I think I'm going to be really happy with this, so thank you, Hobart, for making it possible, hooking me up. Trusting somebody who's never welded before with a welding promotion. I really appreciate that. One last thing to mention on this table, a nice feature. I'm not sure if I'll use this or not. The way it's bolted together, everything comes apart in relatively light and easy to move pieces. So if I ever need to move this bench out of the basement, that'll be an easy thing to do. And I'm demonstrating that with the SketchUp model because it's a whole lot easier than taking the table apart. So there's my setup. Not too bad. Thanks for watching.